Hi everyone, welcome back to JDCodebase. This is the web development series. Today we are going to learning the one of the most important and most confusing hook in the React, that is the use effect. If you understand this hook properly, you will be able to make API call, use timer, control lifecycle, prevent memory leaks, and write better React code. And don't worry if this topic feels difficult at this time. I will explain everything in very simple way step by step. So let's start. Now today we will learn what side effects are and why use effect is needed, and syntax of use effect, dependency, array, and lifecycle mapping, the mount, update, and unmount, API call, timers, and cleanup function. So by the end of this video, you will clearly understand how use effect work. And this is the most important effect, means a hook in the React. Now, what are side effects? First, a side effect is anything that affect the something outside the component. Examples are like API calls, timers, DOM manipulation, event listener, local storage. React components are supposed to be pure. Pure means they just take the probe and return the UI. But when we need to fetch the data, start the timer, or listen to event, that is the a side effect. And to handle the side effect, React give us a hook that's called the use effect. This is a hook, use effect. Now, why use effect? Before hook, we use the class component. Actually, before in the past time we use the class component, but in the present in 2026 and we use the functional component. And in class component we had lifecycle method, that is the component did mount, component did update, component will unmount. Now in functional component, one hook replace all of them. That hook is called use effect. Means this use effect work for all these three component, mount, update, and unmount. So let's move to the VS Code and see this in a live. So this is a basic React project by using the beat, and let's start. Here in this component, first I have to just write here use effect and also import from the React, and inside this use effect and just write a function, a arrow function, whatever you want, just a function, a component, and this says, and it's written the hello, means a JSX. So here we import the use effect, and it takes a function, and inside that function we write the side effect code. Right now I'm just logging something, a random word. So let's see in this. So if I refresh the page and the component mount, and it says component, means console.log component. So now let's see the dependency array, because this is very important in the React. Let's dependency array is the comes after the function. So when we pass an empty array inside this hook, use effect takes the two things. One is the function, second one is the dependency array. So when we pass an empty array, this effect runs only once, only when the component mount. Like same the previous one, means if you write an empty blank array or did not write this dependency array, these both are the same. Now let's add a state here, const count set count equal to use state initial value is the 0, a normal state variable count, and inside this just write here h1 to show this count value, and a button that says increase, and on click start a function, set count is the count plus 1, a normal one counter function that say increase the count value, like 1 2 3 4 5 6 So perfect, no issue with that. Now in the use effect, in the dependency array, I write here the count. Now I add the count inside the dependency array. This means whenever count change, this effect runs. Means dependency array means in this dependency means it depend on this value. Whenever this count value is changed, this function runs. So if the count does not change, effect will not run. Now let's see here. Let me refresh the page. Increase. See this component comes here. I increased one more. Increase. If I write here instead of hard code this value, just write here count value. So let's see here. Refresh the page. 1 2 3 means I am just press this button, and every time this count value is changed and this console.log, this function is run. Now lifecycle mapping and empty array in the class lifecycle method and the use effect in the modern functional component. In the class lifecycle we use the component did mount, but in here we write here the normal use effect function with the blank dependency array. Component did update means when to update this component. So for that, in the present way, we have to use the dependency. Means here we write here count, means whenever this count change, this function called. And next one is the component will unmount, that says return the cleanup function. So use effect replace all the lifecycle method and these three one and this single use effect, means use effect is single one and these three. Now let's come to the cleanup function. So the most important part, cleanup function here is it. So let's write a simple example. Use effect a arrow function console.log mounted, and it's take a blank dependency array. Always give this dependency array. It doesn't matter whether you if you did not want to give anything, just give the blank dependency array. Now return a function. This function says console.log cleanup. So this return function is called the cleanup function. React runs this when component unmount before running the effect again. If even if the dependency array is empty here, cleanup will run when component is removed. So let's say here inside this you did not see anything special. So many beginners ask why do we write here this return cleanup function? Why do we return the cleanup for the these? So it let's say for the setTimeout, yes, for the setTimeout, let me write here const timer equal to setTimeout, and this timeout take a callback and it runs after the hello after 5 seconds, and this take a value that is the 5000 means a millisecond, and also write here return the cleanup function. Just write a normal clear timeout timer. So here setTimeout runs once, means whenever I just refresh the page, this setTimeout, why it not works? I have to first, yes, okay, it take the 5 seconds, I forgot. So I refresh the page, 1 2 3 4 5, and it's come, yes, hello after the 5 seconds. So imagine that this is a set for the 5 seconds, but after the 2 seconds just after the I come to this page, and this use effect runs. After the 5 second, it's a remove. I just set the remove, clear the timeout. But before, instead of 5 second, I just go back to, means after 2 second, I leave the page. Component unmount means this component removes from the React, means from the hook, from the DOM. So even though component is gone, but this 5 second it will still execute, means this console.log after 5 second it still execute. So that is not safe. Like this is a set timeout function, and it runs like I write here set count 10, and here the clear timeout timer. So if component unmount before the 5 second, like I come to this application, I just come, and this set timeout function says after 5 second I set the value of count by 10, but before the 5 second, I just leave the page in the 2 second. Set count will try to update the state here, because this will run, and React may show the warning cannot update state on the unmount component, and that is why we clear the timeout. It is about safety, not about how many times it runs, because we know set timeout only run the a single time. After that it goes in, means it does not run, like the set interval. So if you start something in the use effect, you must stop it in the cleanup function. So like here the set timeout is a single one, but what about the set interval? Yes, let's write set interval. For that we have the clear interval method, or method for that add event listener. For that we have the remove it event listener. Always clean what you start. Now let's see the API call. API call here, let's write here let me write here the new state const data set data, and it says use state and a blank array. Now write a use effect inside a function, a callback function, or effect or callback, and use the fetch for the API. And now API URL, we have a dummy URL for from this JSON placeholder.typecode.com. You can get the any data like user, to-dos, photos, all are comes in the arrow in the array form, and array of object. Basically we have the objects here. I am using this post data, means this is the URL. You can just copy this here and paste here. Now I am fetch the URL. This is just normal JavaScript, nothing special in this, and use it dot then response, convert into the JSON by response.json, and again dot then result set data equal to that result, and it's take a dependency array, means only single time it runs whenever this component mount, and inside this use the curly braces to show the data, and we have a array data, so we have to use the dot map method, and it's take each item and a paragraph, and we have the in data we have the title. So here we have to just write item dot title, and also key here is the ID, because every time whenever we render some a list, we have to give the key here is the item dot ID. So let's see here whether it's work. Yes, it's work, and I get the data here. So here component mount means I'll reload the page. This app component comes on the browser on the page. Then useEffect runs. useEffect runs, API call happens inside this useEffect. And API call happens, then we store the data inside this data state. Means store, then first we convert JSON, then store this data, this result. And this data comes here, then you update the UI here. Because dependency array is empty, I just give the here dependency array is empty here, so API runs only one time. So this is how we receive the fetch the data from the backend and show here inside the inside the React, means in the front end. So this is the API call. Now let's see the user timers. Oh, I already show you this setTimeout function using the setTimeout, and same for the setInterval. Yes, like here, if I did not write this cleanup function, then it's runs after every 1 second. It runs again and again and again. It's print the running. So let's see this example. Let me first comment this because this is a huge data. Now let's write here. Let me write set interval and console.log running, and after 1 second. If I comment this and just run this, so let's see here. See, running every time it's run. If I uncomment this return function clearTimeout, okay, I have to make it clearInterval. Now reload the page, it comes. What happened? Why it's not stopping? Because I did not change the component. I'm on a single component, like in the app.jsx file, and this runs when the component unmount means we close this component, means I change the page. So that's why it's not running. If I change the page and then this stop running, means stop the interval. Now some common mistakes every beginners did. Forgetting the dependency array, yes, because it's work means always include the dependency array, whether it's empty or not, it doesn't matter. And not clearing the infinite means intervals and infinite loops, and this runs after the renders, means update the state, re-render runs again, means infinite loops. Now some best practices: always use a dependency array, always clean up the use the cleanup function, and avoid unnecessary effects. Let's summarize. Today we learn what side effects are, why use effect is needed, dependency array, cleanup function, and API calls and timers. So this is the one of the most important hook in the React. If you understand use effect clearly, you are now thinking like a real React developer. Practice this, try different dependency arrays, create small example. PPT are available in the description. If this video helped you, like, share and subscribe to JDCodebase. I will see you in the next video.